number level no, level 2. All right, welcome to Sedentary Education Channel. Thank you for everyone who have joined this session. And then also, please, if you have not subscribed to the channel, don't forget to subscribe to this channel for me. Right. I will also take this opportunity to thank the 3 provinces that we are going to use their paper today, namely Gauteng, Limpopo, and then Mpumalanga provinces. So today we are going to wrap up the spreadsheet, and then from tomorrow, I will also bring out program that we are going to use to discuss all the database questions also. Right. Now, let's start straight from the Gauteng province question paper, GDE 2025, specifically question 3, 4, and then question 7. Now, I'm going to open 3 winter games. And then it says, make changes to cell A1 to display as in the screenshot. So we can see that from the screenshot, we have rep text added here. And then there's an image to the right and then the image to the left. Now for the 2 marks. So let's check, it is already rep text. Then this image must be duplicated. So that one should be on the left-hand side. So we need to copy and then also paste it this side. Now let's check whether it looks exactly the same. Now here, it looks that's about this side here doesn't show that, so we have to flip it. So you go to that picture format, you can rotate or you can flip. So you can see flip vertical or flip horizontal. So the right one should be the flip horizontal. So if you just copy and paste, you are only going to get 1 mark. But then you need to flip that image so that it will look exactly as you see here. Now, 3.2. Cell A3 does not display like the other headings in row 3. So this is A3, and it doesn't display like this. So for you to make sure that they also display the same way, you need to make use of what we call, from the clipboard, we have this called Format Painter. So Format Painter, whether Microsoft Word or Excel, if you want to format certain text or cell the same as the rest, you have to use Format Painter. So I'll click on the already formatted cells, one of them, and then you click on Format Painter, then you come and apply it here. Now, when you do that, you can see that those words are not showing here. So let's go back and check. So we can merge it. If it doesn't show, you can just merge and then check. So here is merge, and then this is rep text, and it's already rep text. So when you apply Format Painter and it doesn't work, because they were not merged, so you can also merge it, then you get the right answer. Right. Insert a function in B6 to calculate the average capacity of the venues. Now, the average capacity in B6. So this is B6, so we need to calculate average. So equal sign, average. Then you double click on average, click on FX. Then it says average capacity. So we have to look for the capacity, which is column number J. So this is column J. And then you select all the values for capacity. Then OK. Now the next question. Use a combination of functions to determine in cell E6 the most common month displayed as a number. For example, if the most common month is November, the number should be 11. Now, we have to display the most common month. Then we can see here that the months are part of the date in column C. They are part of the date in column C. So we have to extract the month first, and we can make use of the building block. So we have to extract the month in the building block by say equal sign month. Then you click on the date. So here it gives us 2. So we use the month function to extract the month from the given date. Then you can autofill. So here we can see that all the months are 2. So the most common, yeah, there are some of them that are 3. So the most common, we use mode, equal sign mode. We can use mode or mode single. And then you select the month. So the most common month is 2. Right. The next question. Use a function in cell H6 to determine the second highest number of participants among men and women. The second highest number of participants. So because of the second highest, we have to use the function called large. The second largest, we use large. So equal sign large, and then you select the participant. for men and then women. So you have to select both. And then you click on FX. Then K will be 2 because they say the second highest. So our K will have to be 2. Now, if we say 1, that means it's the highest one. The third highest will be 3. So the second highest will be 30 among men and then the women. That's these two. Right, the next question. Use the information in the description column, that's column K, to determine the number of events that men and women can participate in. Insert the function in cell K6 for 5 marks. So here is K6. Now, we want to find the number of men and women. Now, because the question said the number, based on the criteria, we use count ifs, or you can use count if. Like I've been saying, always use count ifs, even if the criteria is one, criterion is 1, or 2, or 3, it will still give you the same answer. So you stick to one formula to determine all your calculations. So equal sign, count ifs. Then criteria range 1, you select the descriptions. Now, the question says the description that has men and women. But you can see here, whatever that we have selected here does not have only men and women. It has other text within each cell. So now, we want whereby it contains men and women, not only men. So what you need to do is, we have to use what we call the asterisk wildcard to extract it. Like I've been preaching all the time, use asterisk, men and women, then you close it. If you don't put asterisk before and after, when you put asterisk before and after, it means it contains. It contains. So here it should contain men and women. So we got 5. So if you don't put that, so it should be count ifs K9 up to K18, then asterisk men and then women. Now, you could have also used count if, like I said, to get the same answer. You could have also used count if, because it's only one criterion. You could have used count if to also get the same answer. Right. So that is all about using wildcards. Remember, it contains, you put asterisk before and then asterisk after. So you have to take note of that type of question. Always make use of that. That is star, men and women. Star. That means it contains men and women. So take note of that. Right. We move on to the next question. 3.7. Change the conditional formatting of the cell E3 up until E12 by working in the medals worksheet. So this is medals worksheet. And now the question says we must change the conditional formatting. Now 15 or more should be gold star. 10 to 14 should be half gold and then half white star. 9 or less. Now, whenever you have conditional formatting like this, which is icon set, we only pick the start values. So here is 15 or more. That means greater than or equals to 15. Here is from 10 to 14. That means it should be greater or equals to 10. And then this is 9 or less. So let's go and edit that. You just have to go to conditional formatting, manage rules, because the rule has already been applied. So you manage rules. Then you choose this worksheet so that to give you all the rules from this worksheet. And then you go to edit. Now look at it. The conditional formatting The first one says percent. So we have to change this percent to number. Because from the question paper, it's only numbers. They are values, not percentage. Now, first value says 15 or more. That means greater or equals to 15. And then the second one should be 10 to 14. So greater or equals to 10. Like I said, we take the start value, not where it is ending. And then you click OK. Then you click on apply. And then OK. So this should be the new rule. So all the values that are more than 15 will have a full star next to it. So if I change this number here to 10, it will change automatically to half gold, half white star. Right. That is the conditional formatting. So you can test it also if you are not sure with your conditions. Now the next question says, countries are ranked according to the total medals they receive. Use a function in column G to display the word top 5 if the rank of the country is between 1 and 5. Nothing should display if the country is not in the top 5. So here between 1 and 5. So we can use if statement. Now, for column G, so let's study the data. We are using the rank, and then we study this data. Now, they said between 1 and 5. Then we choose top 5. Now, because of between, whenever you see between in the if statement, it means and. You can use if and an and function all together. So because of this, you must take note. Because of this between, it means combination. That is from 1 and then ending with what? 5. That means greater than or equals 1 and less than or equals to 5. So we have to use the and function together with the if statement. So we can use building block. If it is not there, we can also solve it. So I'm going to use this step by step to do it. Then after that, I can also use the straightforward way of answering that. So let me create some building blocks here. That's a small one. Now I use and function, equal sign and. Now because of between 1 and 5, so and this one greater than or equals to 1. The second one is F3 less than or equals to 5. So we will get true and then false. Now when you are done here, you come and put the if statement, equal sign if. So this time we are comparing this value. If this value here is equal to true, then the answer should be top 5. Otherwise, leave it empty, meaning you press the space bar. Go and click here again so that you see the 2 inverted commas, and then OK. So some are top 5, some are left blank. So this is not between the top 5. So that is how it's supposed to be done. Or alternatively, you could have solved this question by going straight. You just say equal sign if. You click on FX. And then the logical text is this one. So you don't just go there. You can just use and function. And then open bracket. Now, when you open bracket, go to the formula bar. Click inside the open and close bracket. Then we can now use this logical test for and. Similar to what we did in the building block. If this one is less than or equals to 5, or less than or equals to 1, or 5, or this one is greater than or equals to 1. Then when you are done, don't click OK. Just go to the formula bar, click just after the if statement. It will open the function argument for the if statement. And then the value if true, you say top 5. Then the value if false, you leave it empty, meaning you press the space bar. And then okay. So you get the same answer. Right. Now, so that is how we solve this type of question, the two conditions. So this one should be less than or equals to 5. Yeah, less than or equals to 5. Right, so you try to break them down. Now, the last question for question 3, before I check the comment section, if you have any comment, then I'll address it. Now, there's a graph here that you need to do. So this graph, let's go and check it. Here's the graph. You can see the gold one were filled in with a 3 gold image. So you select that one only. You right click and choose fill. And then you show picture because we are filling with a picture. Then you select from files. So 3 gold. Now, they will be stretched inside those series. So you need to now change them. How do we change it to stack? You right click on them. One of them, you see format data series. And then you go to the fill. You see stack instead of stretch, so that they will be stacked inside. Then the medal, the title is also there. And then the data labels must be displayed. So you click on this chart element and then you take data labels. Right, I think that is all that they wanted you to do. There's nothing again. Right. So basically, this is what you needed to do for the 3 marks. The stack, filling in, making sure that they are stacked, and then inserting the data labels. That is all about question number 3. Now, I'm going to check the various chat session. Right, somebody said, for conditional formatting, do we choose the first 2 numbers? Yes, yes. The first 2 numbers, just like the if statement, yes. Exactly the same. Because there are 3 conditions, you need only the first 2. The other one, you don't need to do anything there. Right. Now we move straight to question 4. 4 athletes. We move straight to question 4. Now the first question says, add any tab color of your choice to the info worksheet. That's the first one. Then they calculate in F3 what the age of the athlete John Doe will be at the date of the event. So the first one is to tab color. You right click tab color and you choose any tab color of your choice. The second question, F3. We have to calculate those using the lower version, you can use the year function. So I'm going to use both. If you are using 365 or Office 2019, you just say equal sign year frec. You click on FX. Then we have the start date and the end date. Now the start date will be the date of birth. Now this question is referring to, let's check the question again. . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . .. .. .. .. will be at the date of the event. So here we are comparing with the date of the event. So the end date will be the date of the event. Then you click OK. So here it gives us 24. When we drag down here, here's 22, like you see here. Now, to round it to the whole number, we can use the round function. You go there, just after the equal sign, you put round. And then you click on FX. Then for the round function, the number of digits will be 0. So we got a 25. Alternatively, we could have solved this question by using a year function. Equal sign, year, equal sign, year. You click on FX. So the year of the date of the event. Then you go and click and say minus year of this one. You close the bracket. So we got a 25. You could have also solved this question by using a building block. We use the year function of this one. You press enter. Equal sign year. Double click of the date of birth. So we have the 2 years. Now you can just go here and say equal sign, the bigger year minus the smaller year. Then you press enter. You got a 25. So we can use any of these methods to display the number of years between 2 given dates. So you can use building block to also break it down. Right. Now use a lookup function in cell G4 to give the venue name for the snowboarding event. Now, like I said, lookup, you can use X lookup, or you can use V lookup or H lookup. So let's go and check this one. It's vertical. So I am going to use X lookup first. The first thing that I will do is to give them names. The first one will be the event name. Why am I giving the event name? Because when you come here, there's an event name. Here is event name. All the values are there. And then when you come here, there's also event name. So meaning when they are here and then that side, we use that one as the lookup range or the lookup column. Now, you come this side, the venue names, they are here, but then when you come to this place, some of them do not have the venue names. So that is why we need to use what we call the X lookup. So this one will become the lookup range or column, and this one will become the return column. So you give them different names. Remember, when giving them names, do not include the heading. So you select them, you right click and choose define name. So you give it a name as A. Then the second one, you select the venue names, you right click, define name, you give it a name as B. So the A will become the lookup range, then the B will become the return range. Then when you come here, you say equal sign, X lookup. You click on FX, the lookup range is A, the return range is B. Then the lookup value is always selected from the same row, that is from the event name. You click on it, and then the match mode is -1. Or you can also ignore it. So here we got the answer. Right. So that is all about the X lookup. Now, if we were to use V lookup, what you need to do is you give the entire table name. VLOOKUP, you don't separate them. So you give the entire table name without the heading. Define name, I will give it a name as D to make it absolute. Now, when you come here, we use VLOOKUP, equal sign VLOOKUP. Why VLOOKUP? Because it is vertical. The table is vertical. Now, the table name is D, and then the lookup value is the same, C4. Then the column index number, which column are you taking the values from? Now go and check here. We have column 1, column 2, column 3. So we are taking from column 3. So the column index number will now be 3. Now here it gives us wrong answer because we chose true. So now the lookup range, we say false. So that we can get a right answer. False means the exact match so that you'll be able to get a right answer. Right, so that's all about VLOOKUP and then XLOOKUP. Now we go to the last question. The organizers of the event want to create a code for each athlete. Insert a combination of functions to determine the code in column M by combining the following: the surname of the athlete, followed by the space, and then followed by the country of the athlete. Note, the country must display in lowercase. So there are so many conditions here: the surname, the space, and then the country, but the country must display in lowercase. So let's go and check. We can use the building block to do it. First is the surname, so equal sign. Go and click on the surname. Right, but here the name and surname are together. That's good. I like this type of question. Let's start again. The name and surname are kept in one column or one cell. And then the surname is the one on the right-hand side. So we need to extract the surname, like this one. Doe, Smith, and others. Now, anytime you are extracting from the right-hand side, whereby one particular cell or the cell contains compound text, like here, we have the name, and then surname. So the name and surname are separated with space. Now we need to only extract the one on the right-hand side. So we will need the right function, we will need the len function, and then we will need the find function. So we go and say equal sign len to determine the length of this one. We got 8. Then here also, we use the find function, equal sign find. Now, what are we finding its position? The space. We can realize that there's a space separating the name and surname. So we have to determine the position of the space. So find text will be the space. You press the space bar. Within text, A3. Now, after this, we need to subtract the smaller value from the bigger value. In other words, to subtract the find value from the length value. So equal sign the length value minus the find value. So we got this. So if we autofill them, good. So now with this, we can now determine the names here, or the surname, equal sign right. Why do we use right function? Because the surname is on the right-hand side. So the text will be A3. The number of characters We are now going to use this one, the value for learn minus find, which is 3. And then okay. So we got our answer right. If we drag down, it's going to display all the surnames from this particular name and surname column. So we have them. Now, after this, we have achieved the first part. Now the space followed by space. So we need to get a space also here. How do we put a space? You press equal sign, inverted comma, space, and then you close the inverted comma. And then you press enter. Then you can also drag it down, followed by the country of the athlete. And then the country of the athlete should be the lower case. So where do we find the country? Which is column B. So equal sign, lower. They say should be in lower case. Lower. Then you go and click on the country, enter. So we got the countries in lower case. Now we are going to combine these. This one, and then we combine with a space, and then we combine with this one. Now these are the 3 that we are going to combine them to form our code. And we can do that by using concatenate or just pressing equal sign, click on the first one, then you press shift and 7, you click on the space, shift and 7, you click on this one and enter. So we are getting them right. To get all our codes with the surname followed by space and followed by the country separated with space. Right, so that is all about that question for 7 marks. I will encourage you, when you get a question, solve them step by step in the building block, and you'll be able to solve every single question. Now, the last part of this one will be question 7. I think there's also one spreadsheet question. This is mail merge Microsoft Word. Yes, 7.2, 7 data. That's the last part. Now, work in the 7.2.1 worksheet. Use the data validation to allow a user to select male or female in column E. And then you have realized that this year, almost all the provinces are getting questions regarding data validation. So you must watch out for that, data validation, and then also questions regarding the text column to split 2 tests within 1 column. Right. Now we are going to 7.2. It says 7.2.1, and then we apply the data validation on column E. Yes, column E. So you select them. Now we are going to type male and female. So you can even type male and female somewhere here. Male, female. Then you select here. And then you go to data validation. Like I said, you can just use search and type validation. Or you can find it from data and data validation. Now, when you are going to choose or select, we don't use any value. Like the last time we were using the whole number and the text length. But here we choose list because you want to choose from. And then the source, you can type them here, male, female, or you click on this arrow to select. And then okay. So if I click here, it's going to give me options of male and female, any of them. So that's data validation. Then the second one, work in the 7.2.2. Remove all duplicate records in the worksheet. 7.2.2. So we are going to remove duplicate. You can select it and then you say duplicate, or you can get from data also, say duplicate. Then you see remove duplicate from that column, and then you go to OK. So we got the 4 unique. There are others that are duplicates, and then they have been removed. So only 4 unique values are there. And then 7.2.3, use the subtotal feature to calculate the number of events per country. Now the key word here is per country. That means we are going to group by country. And then it says the number. Number means we use the function called count. So you have to identify which function are you going to use, and then which column are you going to sort according to. So because of per, or maybe you can say via, or you can say by, or for each, or group. So then you know that you have to sort according to that one. So I will move straight to 7.2.3 worksheet. So we sort them. You select all of them. And then you go to sort. You can search also by country A to Z. They are already sorted. They are already sorted. So that's the first thing. And then you go to data. Then you see subtotal. So where it says at each change in, you select the column that you sorted according to which is country. And the question says the number for each. So you can pick maybe event or an athlete. Let's choose the event. And then OK. So it's going to count them per each country. So you see China count, there are 9 of them. And then Chile count, only 1. So that is how we do the subtotal. Now 7.2.4, use the sum ifs. Now here is very, very important. The sum ifs, that means you cannot use any other function, only sum ifs. To calculate the total points, that's why they want the sum ifs earned by athletes from China who participated. So the first condition is from China and those who participated in ice hockey. So there are 2 conditions. That is why we use sum ifs. So you take note. Now let's go to 7.2.4. Equal sign, sum ifs. And then the sum range. They say the total point. So you select them. And then the criteria range 1. They say hockey event or China first. Yeah, for China and ice hockey. So you can choose any of them. So we use the country. And China, I can say star CHI star. If I don't want to type China, that means contains CHI. And then second one, event. And if I don't want to type ice hockey, you can type ice hockey, or you can say star ice H star, ice hockey star. There we go. So we got our answer, right? Don't forget, please, to make use of the wildcard, the asterisk. It makes your life easier. So instead of us to type China, we put a star, CHI star, and then ice hockey. I start with the first 3 letters. You can use the first 3 letters or first 2. And then we have star before and then the star after, or asterisk. Right. That brings to an end of spreadsheet questions regarding Gauteng province. Now let's move straight to the second province,